Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we'll have some more fallout, debate, discussion about that corner that was given that shouldn't have been given at the City Ground. Yes, I'm bored of it and I want to get into it though anyway because, come on, enough is enough, but it's still ongoing, so we'll be getting into that. Also, January transfers, could we be doing some? Let's find out. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and the weather, it's okay. It's just about spitting. It's spitting. Get them in. Loads of stories to go through. Before we do though, make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe to the channel. I think we're on about 25,000, so keep going. We appreciate your support as always. A lot of the stories this morning focusing on the game at the weekend. Manchester United's winning run comes to an end, but we are still unbeaten. So it depends on whether you're a sort of glass half full or half empty kind of person. Ruben Amorim was speaking after the game with a lot of stories still sort of speaking about his comments. He said how he thought we wouldn't lose, how he's talking about the progress we've made. I'm paraphrasing here, but the fact that, you know, United now, we'll just... That's a game I think he said last season we would have lost, I think is the right words he used there. And I kind of agree with him. I think that there has been progress from this Manchester United side. I think we are looking a lot better. And I think it says a little bit that at the end there of that game against Nottingham Forest, I thought United were going to win it. I thought out of the two teams, which one would win it? I thought it was going to be Manchester United. You go back to last season, you probably wouldn't have felt like that because so many games when it was in the balance, United ended up losing. Now, I'm not saying that it's all, you know, sunshine and rainbows because we've got a point at the City Ground, especially after we were winning at one point. But I think, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit more philosophical about it all. Let me know. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think about that result. It is a little bit deflating, isn't it? Especially when you look at the fact that you go back a week. And apologies, it's all my fault, people keep telling me, because when I was away, United won, City lost, Liverpool lost. I've come back, United draw, City win, Liverpool win. So I do apologise, and I will try and go on holiday again very soon. But you look at it and it is a little bit like deflating or whatever. Oh, it's not that bad. That's the way I look at it. It isn't that bad. We are still unbeaten. We have taken, what is that now, 10 points from the last 4 games. So maybe we can keep going and use that as a bit of a stepping stone. And also we've got a Spurs game coming up. Another big game there. Not an easy place to go to, but a winnable game. Spurs away, obviously. So let us know what you think about that one and what you think about Ruben Amorim's comments. He also spoke about Ahmad. And he said he praised Ahmad, but he said there's improvements that he can make in terms of consistency. And I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. I think Ahmad has come a long way, but you can see parts of his game where there is room for improvement. And I think with Ahmad, the sky's almost the limit. I think technically he's a massively gifted player. I think he's got almost everything you can want in a player. He's very good on the ball. He's got bags of energy. He gets stuck in. He's very strong. The one thing he doesn't have, and the one thing he can't really work on, is height. He doesn't have height. So when you've got players who are much bigger than him challenging for crosses or in the box, he's going to struggle against that. So that's maybe something United need to work out tactically when they've got Ahmad marking much bigger players. But other than that, there's areas of his game he can improve on, but on the whole, he's a fantastic player and I thought he did well. The other day it wasn't perfect, and I think that's what the manager was saying. There were certain parts of the game that he can improve, even during the game against Forest, but obviously he got his goal and he almost got the winner as well, which is what you want to see from Ahmad. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about the game of the weekend. Just one final point on it, actually. This whole meltdown and pushback on the corner that was given that probably shouldn't have been a corner for United's opener. Now, did the ball fully go out? Probably not, from some of the images we've seen. Does it need all this analysis and meltdown and talk of VAR getting involved? No. And I'll tell you why. Because let's not forget, United were robbed of a corner when Benjamin Sesko had a cross sort of blocked. We didn't get a corner for that. Forest were given a corner later on in the game when they had a shot that deflected off their own player and were given a corner for it. Now, the only difference with those two instances is they didn't directly lead to goals, so there wasn't a big pushback on it. But those were decisions that were wrong. And now you're ignoring those and just focusing on the United one because a goal came from it and talking about changing the rules and bringing VAR into it or whatever. It's just nonsensical. And I saw Sean Dyche banging on about it after the game. I've seen articles being written about it post-match as well. And I think, hang on a minute, if you're going to speak about decisions that are wrong, speak about all the decisions. Speak about the fact that United were denied a corner and a corner was handed to Nottingham Forest that shouldn't have been one. Not just the fact that United got this corner that shouldn't have been a corner, because that's not balanced. That's not fair and it's not accurate. And it's just this whole thing of, oh, let's just focus on when something goes right for Manchester United and is given to Manchester United that shouldn't, and ignore all the bad decisions that go against United. And I said this in a video with Joe the other day. United have had a lot of bad decisions against us. So let's not act like United haven't been hard done by this season, because we have. But as soon as something goes our way, then you have sort of 2 or 3 days of absolute carnage all over the media and pundits and ex-players and the manager and all this other stuff, manager of the opposition, banging on about how VAR needs to get involved. It's absolutely preposterous. I just think you need to take a serious look at it all, because United aren't exactly getting the rub of the green when it comes to these decisions. And we didn't get the rub of the green on Saturday. It's just the one decision we got, we converted into a goal, where Forest had a couple of decisions that went their way, which led to nothing. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. Now, there's a bit of a debate going on. I did say that was going to be the last thing I was going to say about Saturday, but I lied. I just remembered something else. About Benjamin Sesko. See Gary Neville speaking about him, saying the jury's out. 1 or 2 other people talking about him as well. There's a few articles doing the rounds. Now, look, saying the jury's out, I get it. I don't think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I understand that Benjamin Sesko has had some good games for Manchester United. He scored a couple of goals for Manchester United. He's had some games, maybe on Saturday, you could argue, it was one of the games where he struggled a little bit. But I think the quality is there, and you can see what he brings to the team. And I understand why the manager kept him on. The manager explained that, about he's the type of player that will be in and around the box. Someone like Xerxes, for example, you put him in the team, he comes a little bit deeper. He wanted someone in the Nottingham Forest box, and Sesko does that. You have to remember, though, it's very, very early. Me and Steve were speaking about this yesterday we were talking about it, and we were saying now, like, Steve made the point, like, you know, this is his first season. You remember when players at Manchester United used to get almost a season to find their feet, especially strikers, and we've seen that many a time where players take a little while to get going, and then once they get going, we see the real them. Now, Benjamin Sesko has shown signs of what he's about, and I like him. I think he's a real good player, and I think there is a player there, and I'm pretty confident he's going to have a successful Manchester United career. But some of this pushback and some of these queries, some of them, not all of them, some of them are a little bit OTT, and I feel like there is this desire to almost jump on him and go, hang on a minute, he's not worked out, he's a waste of money, he's a flop. It's far too early to be spinning that narrative. Far too early. And I think we've seen too much from him already to show that there is a player there. So it does annoy me a little bit, some of the discourse around Benjamin Sesko. Yes, you can say, okay, we've not quite seen the player that we know he can be consistently yet for Manchester United. I think that's reasonable. But all this idea of him being a flop is absolutely bang out of order and just nonsensical, and it's not true in the slightest. Let's talk about transfers. Fabrizio Romano on his YouTube channel was chatting about transfers, and he's talking about the January transfer window, and he's saying that talks have begun with Ruben Amorim, and talks have begun even? That's the right way to say it, isn't it? Talks have begun with Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United hierarchy about January transfer business. He mentioned the fact that United could be looking to move a couple of players on. Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Xerxes are the 2 players that he named because we know that they're not happy about the lack of game time. Obviously, Saturday's not going to have alleviated any issues they've got around that. And he said there might be some business to be done there in January. There's talk in there of Kobbie going on a loan move. I don't know what's going to happen with Xerxes. Maybe that could be permanent. I think Mainoo would be keen to stay long term. I hope so anyway. Xerxes will have to wait and see. He also spoke about incomings, and he said, Romano, that Ruben Amorim doesn't just want players for short term. If we do any business in January, it's going to be someone for the short and long term. It isn't just going to be someone who's going to come in for the next few months. He's going to want someone that can play a part at Manchester United for years to come. And I get that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Listen, I think United will have to wait up where we're at in January. I've said this many a time. I think if Manchester United are challenging, but we feel like we're a little bit short, we may go, look, can a signing get us over the line here? Can a signing be the difference between getting Champions League football or not getting Champions League football? Now, you might say I'm getting carried away with myself there, just because we've had 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 games, all of a sudden you talk about Champions League football. But let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at in January. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that Manchester United are challenging for Champions League. It's not. We might not be, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we are. And if we are, you might look at it and go, are we a little bit light perhaps in midfield? Do we need to go out and buy a midfielder, bring someone in now? In an ideal world, you go out and buy a big signing like Elliot Anderson, who everyone's on about. Are we likely to do that in January? No. We'll have to wait and see though, but we should cut our cloth accordingly depending on where we are in January. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let us know what you think. Just on midfielders as well, Casemiro saw a tweet I think from TNT saying that he's had 33 goal involvements as a defensive midfielder since he arrived at Manchester United, which is quite impressive. He's had a bit of a renaissance, Andy Casemiro, this season. I think a lot of people, myself included, were wondering just whether his legs could hold up another season in the Premier League. He has looked a bit up and down over the last couple of seasons in particular, but I think he's been vital to Ruben Amorim's team this season, and long may that continue, at least for the rest of the season. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget hit like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the merch. There's a link in the description there as well. Also, if I'm allowed to do a little bit of a plug, I'm following producer Ben's lead because he went and did something for charity, so I think, well, I suppose I better add as well. I'm doing a sleep out in a couple of weeks for the Booth Centre, which is a homeless charity here in Manchester. There's a link in the description. If you can help out, it's a good cause. They help out a lot of homeless in Manchester and Greater Manchester and beyond as well. Appreciate your help there. If you can, don't worry about it. But yeah, there's a link in the description if you can spare anything for that. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Don't forget, we've got the Paddock podcast coming up later today, so make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Motti. This has been the Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.